Right now, in a Walmart about 15 minutes from your house, there are at least 13 products sitting on the shelf that would be illegal to sell in London. Illegal in Paris, illegal in Tokyo, Sydney, and Toronto. Not because they're expired, not because they're contaminated, because the chemicals inside them have been scientifically linked to cancer, thyroid failure, and neurological damage in children. And over 30 countries decided that was enough to pull them. But not the United States. Here, those same chemicals are classified as generally recognized as safe. That's the actual legal term. And the biggest grocery retailer in America, the one that feeds 72% of all households, stocks every single one of them. 270 million customers walk through those doors every single week. And most of them have absolutely no idea that the bread in their cart, the chicken nuggets in their freezer, and the mac and cheese their kids eat 3 times a week would get a store fined or shut down in 30 other countries. Here's what they're not telling you. The loophole. The difference comes down to one word: burden. In Europe, a food company has to prove, through years of independent testing, that an additive is safe before it touches a grocery shelf. That's the precautionary principle. You prove safety first, then you sell. In the United States, it's the exact opposite. The FDA uses the GRAS loophole, generally recognized as safe. Under that framework, manufacturers can introduce chemicals into your food with zero pre-market testing, no independent audit, no long-term human trials, nothing. Over 10,000 chemical compounds are approved for American food. The European Union? About 400. That's not a rounding error. That's a completely different philosophy about what belongs in the human body. And it means the same corporation, Kraft, Kellogg's, General Mills, sells 2 entirely different versions of the same product, a clean version for European kids and a chemically dense version for American kids. Same logo, same box, completely different ingredients. And at the center of that double standard sits the largest grocery retailer in the country. The banned list, 13 products. Number 1, great value, white sandwich bread, $1.48. Sounds like a deal, until you find potassium bromate and azotocarbonamide in the ingredients. Bromate is classified as a possible human carcinogen, causes kidney tumors and DNA damage. Banned in the EU, UK, Canada, China, India, and Brazil. Azotocarbonamide is the same chemical in yoga mats. When it breaks down during baking, it produces urethane, a recognized carcinogen banned in Europe over a decade ago. Number 2, great value chicken nuggets. BHA and BHT are synthetic preservatives that act as endocrine disruptors, both restricted or banned in Japan, the EU, Canada, and Australia. But here's the terrifying part. In 2026, the USDA flagged the dino-shaped variety for confirmed lead contamination, lead, in a product marketed to toddlers. There is no safe level of lead exposure. Number 3, great value ice cream sandwiches. Most of these can't legally be called ice cream. The FDA requires them to say frozen dairy dessert because they lack enough real dairy fat. Instead, polysorbate 80, carrageenan, cellulose gum. Recent research links these emulsifiers to gut lining degradation. They thin the mucus barrier in your intestines, triggering chronic inflammation tied to metabolic syndrome. Number 4, great value American cheese singles. This isn't cheese. It's a pasteurized prepared cheese product with less than 51% cheese curds. The yellow color comes from FD and C yellow 5 and yellow 6, petroleum dyes. In the EU, any product with these dyes carries a mandatory warning that it may cause hyperactivity in children. That label killed sales, so companies removed the dyes entirely in Europe. At Walmart, still on the shelf. If this is the first time you're hearing any of this, you're not alone. Most people never flip the package over. We break it down every week. The hidden ingredients, the loopholes, and the swaps that save your health and your wallet. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss one. Number 5, great value macaroni and cheese, 64 cents. Same yellow 5 and yellow 6. And here's the hypocrisy. Kraft already reformulated this in Europe using paprika and beta-carotene. Natural color, same orange. But the American version still uses petroleum dyes. Same company, same product, different standards. Number 6, great value Vienna sausage, 76 cents for a slurry of mechanically separated meat fortified with sodium nitrite. When nitrite hits stomach acid, it forms nitrosamines, potent carcinogens linked to colorectal and gastric cancers in decades of research. Processed meat is WHO Group 1, the same classification as tobacco. Number 7, Walmart Deli rotisserie chicken. It looks like a simple roasted chicken. It's not. Before roasting, these birds are deeply injected with a saline solution packed with sodium phosphates, modified food starches, and carrageenan. That injection inflates the weight, you're literally paying for water, and pushes sodium past 500 milligrams per 3-ounce serving. For seniors with chronic kidney disease, those inorganic phosphates are especially dangerous. Unlike natural phosphates bound to protein, these synthetic versions are absorbed at near 100% efficiency. They spike blood phosphorus, trigger vascular calcification, and accelerate cardiovascular damage. Number 8. Fanta, Mountain Dew, and store-brand sodas. For decades, citrus sodas used brominated vegetable oil. BVO is banned in the EU and Japan. Bromine competes with iodine in the thyroid, causing dysfunction. It's fat-soluble, so it accumulates in your brain and fatty tissue. The FDA proposed a ban in 2023, but existing store-brand inventory is still on shelves. Number 9. Great Value Breakfast Sausage. BHA, BHT, and TBHQ, all three face restrictions in Europe, Japan, and Canada. TBHQ is a petroleum derivative that impairs your T-cell immune response, increasing food allergy sensitization. Add sodium nitrite on top, and you're starting the day with multiple cellular disruptors in a single serving. Number 10. Great Value Cooking Spray. The propellant in this cooking spray is propane and isobutane, liquid petroleum gases sprayed onto your cookware. The anti-foaming agent is dimethyl silicone, a synthetic polymer used in cosmetics and industrial sealants. The FDA calls it safe. Over 30 countries disagree. Number 11. Bulk cereals. Fruit Loops, Lucky Charms, Frosted Flakes. The cereal aisle is the most blatant double standard. These cereals contain Red 40, Yellow 5, Blue 1, and BHT. Kellogg's and General Mills already reformulated them in Europe using spinach, carrot, and blackcurrant extracts. The American versions? Still petroleum dyes. Same company, same box, different continent, different chemistry. Number 12 and number 13. The Recall Files. February 2026, Saputo USA recalled Great Value cottage cheese across 24 states for improper pasteurization, risking Listeria, Salmonella, and E. coli. Same year, the USDA flagged dino-shaped nuggets for lead contamination, a neurotoxin with no safe threshold in a product shaped for toddlers. The shadow manufacturers. Walmart doesn't make Great Value products. Bimbo Bakeries bakes the bread. Tyson and Purdue supply the chicken. Wells Dairy makes the ice cream. Same factories as the premium brands. The only difference is the chemical formulation. To hit Walmart's price targets, manufacturers strip out natural ingredients and replace them with synthetics. Real cream becomes cellulose gum. Egg yolks become polysorbate 80. That's how frozen dairy dessert costs half as much as ice cream. You're not getting a deal, you're getting a different product. Why Walmart can't hide. Walmart isn't just a store. It's the food supply for entire communities. Over 400 Walmart locations sit directly inside USDA-designated food deserts, areas where there is no other grocery option within reasonable distance. For millions of rural and lower-income Americans, Walmart isn't a choice. It's the only source of food. That gives the company enormous power, and they use it. The Walmart effect is an economic principle describing how their pricing pressure forces suppliers to continuously cut costs. Manufacturers engineer out the natural ingredients and replace them with cheap synthetic alternatives. The downward price pressure directly correlates to the increased chemical density of the American diet. So when Walmart stocks its shelves with ultra-processed foods containing carcinogenic preservatives and neurotoxic dyes, that's not an individual consumer choice. That's the biological reality for entire zip codes that have nowhere else to shop. The states are forcing it. The FDA has been glacially slow. But the states aren't waiting. California banned potassium bromate, BVO, and Red 3 effective 2027. New York targeted titanium dioxide and synthetic dyes in school food. Vermont mandated heavy metal testing in baby food. West Virginia legally redefined food with BHA and synthetic dyes as adulterated. Here's the leverage. Walmart can't run separate supply chains for each state. When enough states ban an ingredient, it forces a national reformulation. That's exactly what happened. In late 2025, Walmart pledged to remove 30 additives from all private labels by 2027. But think about what that admission means. By promising to remove these chemicals, Walmart is quietly confirming it's been selling them to hundreds of millions of people for decades, despite knowing they're banned worldwide. 83% of shoppers say they want clean label food, but the vast majority never actually flip the package over. That gap between intention and action is exactly where companies like Walmart operate. Here's the reality. You can shop at Walmart, you can save money at Walmart, but you have to read the label every single time. If the ingredient list is longer than 4 lines, put it back. If you see potassium bromate, BHA, BHT, TBHQ, sodium nitrite, or any FD and C dye followed by a number, put it back. The clean alternatives exist on the same shelves. Dave's Killer Bread, Applegate Farms, Annie's. They cost a little more, but the money you save buying chemicals is money you'll spend later at the doctor's office. 30 countries already figured this out. The only question is how long it takes America to catch up.